So self-care should be wrapped in ongoing compassion and thoughtfulness for ourselves, basically treating ourselves like our favorite person, the way we would treat others that we loved. So for me, when I talk about self-care, it's talking about the everyday practices that we're putting in place to make sure we're treating ourselves with the respect and care that is in our best interest and for our well-being. So I would like to start off with the C in care and say, let us start with just a sense of gratitude. Gratitude meaning paying attention to just the things that are fantastic about who we are as people and the lives that we have. Tuesday, the reason for doing that is to actually put ourselves in a place of gratitude and appreciation. So sometimes I know it's a bit difficult for us because we're focused on other people, but we don't really turn inwards as often as we should. So I would like us to get in the habit of saying, I am grateful, counting our blessings that we have personally as our own attributes, not necessarily just material things outside of ourselves. The next thing in practicing our self-care is acceptance. And this is huge. Acceptance of who we are first and foremost, who we are and what we're about. Because a lot of times there's a lot of negative self-talk or just the way we perceive ourselves. We tend to zero in on, what we did wrong and how things should be different. And if only I were this or if I was not that. So if we could focus on acceptance, accepting ourselves and accepting situations, right? So this is not ideal, but you know what? This is okay. I'm going to accept it for what it is. And also accepting others, because there are a lot of times where the source of our stress, it's about others or things that are out of our control because we're forever trying to, make it into something else or make people into something else or someone else. And so it's about acceptance of ourselves, who we are, what we look like, our personalities, accepting of other people, who they are, their way of being, their way of doing. The third thing is to release. Huge. Release. Let it go. Forgive. Move on. And it does not mean that I'm saying that we are going to be forgetting everything and just having a kind of it doesn't matter attitude. What I'm saying is there are a lot of times we hold on to things that really it's not serving us well. It takes up a lot of negative energy. It's squeezing out the space that we would have to pour in the positive. And oftentimes it taints the way that we see others, we see situations, we see ourselves because we're so blinded by our anger or disappointment or hurt with that particular thing that we then transpose that onto everything else around us. Release it. Let it go. Just say, I acknowledge, I know what the lessons are that I've gotten from that, and it's time to move on. So when we talk about releasing and forgiving, it does not mean that, I'm just accepting of everything and saying it's okay. We're not saying that. We're saying we see it, we acknowledge it for what it is, what the situation is, and we acknowledge the person for who they are and what has been wrought based on their presence in our lives. But we are going to forgive, have some closure around it, at least start on that journey and move on. So the idea is just release. That happened. Let me get the lesson from it. I can't change it from what happened in the past. So I will learn from it. I can use that experience to inform how I'm going to go forward, but I'm letting it go. And we will find that a lot of our relationships will be richer and better. We will be richer and better because we can breathe a sigh of relief. Just, it's gone. I can focus my time and energy elsewhere. And also for those that are in our lives, when we're able to forgive and say we're going to move on, it helps those relationships as well to be better and to be healthier. So we're going to be counting our blessings, what we have that we're appreciative of. We're going to be accepting of ourselves the way that we are, faults, flaws, amazing attributes and all, and the same for others. And we're going to be releasing the things that we don't need to be carrying around, the heavy baggage. We're going to let it go. Down to the E, we're going to elevate the conversation. And what do I mean by elevate the conversation? Just taking things to the next level where we're being thoughtful, we're applying our critical thinking skills, and we're going to try and just get out of the trivial, mundane, the negative thought ourselves, right? The negative self-talk ourselves. Elevate that, because everything starts with a thought. If we are thinking a particular way, it's going to be impacting how we feel. Based on how we feel, we are going to be acting. So let's elevate our conversations with ourselves. Look at what it is that we're saying to ourselves. Look at how we're framing the things that we perceive, the things that we believe in, the values, and elevate the conversation. Look at the self-talk. Get away from the negative and the complaining. Let us reframe. Let us be positive. So even those things that aren't ideal, even those things that we know aren't good and we want to change them, we can still see them as an opportunity. This is a part of who I am. This is what the situation is. We can always find the positive and the negative, right? Because if it's even to say this is a good lesson for me and I appreciate the lesson that this situation is teaching me, that will serve. So elevate your self-talk, the conversation that you're having with you, and elevate the conversation that you're having with others. So until next time, I hope that you will definitely be practicing your self-care in all of your activities, in the way you show up every single day. And I would love to hear from you about the part of this that you find resonates the most and what you would like to start working on. So take care, and remember, stay elevated. Bye for now.